Hello everyone, this video is in a continuation with my previous one where I mentioned that how WindSurf actually helped me to just reduce the turnaround time for my day-to-day tasks related to the code, right? In the previous video, I just shared how WindSurf actually helped me to increase not only the test coverage, but how easily I was able to, just implement a new feature in just few minutes. I would say I just spent few hours here and there because we have to generate a lot of other documentation as well. In today's video, I'm just gonna evaluate WindSurf again for the errors which I am not only getting when the user is using my application, but I want to see how WindSurf actually helped me to just fix my CI/CD pipeline related issues as well. And what if, I want to containerize my application, how it can help me to containerize my application as well. And how WindSurf can help me to just keep my documentation up to date, because that is the part where, developer is always lagging behind because documentation is something which is quite boring for all of us, right? And we all agree that, developer never likes to do documentation, whereas the documentation is the heart of, the biggest and the successful application. So these are the three areas where we are going to evaluate WindSurf in today's video. Right? So let me just quickly show you. This is my Agentic API application where I ask my application this task, like how many moons does Mars have, and multiply that number by 50. I got the error, which is not good for the user because there is no message like what user has to do, right? So now I'm just going to the WindSurf and say that, let me just ask when user asked application to perform the task, then it got error in the agent's work log section in UI. Will you please help please find the root cause along with fixing it? Also make sure if such issues can happen, then what should be the best way to inform the user about the error so you will not get disappointed, rather knows what we do. Right? So let me just ask that. And one more point, if you see, we can just choose our large language model as well, which I have not mentioned in my previous video. So WindSurf actually provide that option to us. Whenever we are asking here, if you just see, we have this option where we can choose which one to use, but I'm just relying on a 2.5 Pro Google because that's the best one so far. And we will just move to the Claude if, we feel that, okay, Google Gemini is not able to help us, but we will stick with this. Of course, I can absolutely help with this. An application crashing because of the generic error is frustrating experience. And you have raised a crucial point about just fixing the bug, but also improving how the system communicates, right? The root cause is the problem is that agent is a bit too optimistic when it calls the external Google Gemini API to think it assumed the call will always succeed. However, this call can fail for several reasons, and we know that because it is making a connection to the LLM, and there can be n number of issues which they are just highlighting here. It could be an invalidated API key. We know that's not the case because earlier task was performed very well. Network issue, this could be another one, temporary network issue, and then refuse to answer, probably your quota is exhausted, right? So now what it is suggesting, currently if any of these error occurs, the agent doesn't handle it gracefully, the problem crashes and the UI show a generic and unhelpful error message, right? So now we can see it's try to implement that. Let's quickly verify the, okay, so what it is doing now, it is trying to put that into the try and the exception, which is really good. Let me accept this. Okay, so what it does is it's just actually cover the logic which can have this exception in the future, right? So it is now handling with the exception, which is the right way of doing, right? So let's quickly run this. Okay, the next thing is if you just realize to ensure the new error fix handling works as expected, we should add a new test case, right? So it's actually adding a new test cases. Let's quickly review that. So now it has, okay, test run with API error, right? And then it's, so let's quickly accept it, and now it's saying let's accept it. So the good part is it's not only suggesting, not only implementing, what could be the probable solution, because we are still not sure. We have not tested, so I cannot say this is actually going to fix that. But since it's just a try and exception handling, actually exception handling properly, so it may work, but let be more critical here and assume that it may not work, right? So we have a test as well. We have got a test, so which is a good feature because it's not only providing a fix, but it is also providing the test scenario as well. And now it's saying that if you accept it, it is going to run that for you. So basically you don't have to do anything. It's just trying to accommodate the entire process, when we have to do manually, right? We have to first find out the root cause, then we have to fix it, and then we have to see if our test coverage is good enough for that changes or not. If it is not there, then we have to do the changes as well. Now, if you just see it's failing, right? So it's actually should just capture this. Okay, now it is still failing. So we can simply say that we are still seeing the error. And now at this point in time, if you want to change the model, you can use that. But since, it's not so much costly, whereas the Claude seems to be pretty much costly, but just to showcase you, I'm just going to use 3.7. So could you please look at it and suggest the root cause and fix? Okay, so let's simply do that. So far it really looks good, right? At least what it does. I mean, you can just see the thought process as well. How it is thinking. I'm deep diving into the agent's work log to pinpoint the UI error. I'm systematically checking the code for potential cause related to task execution and blah blah blah. So which is really good, right? If you just see the way it is trying to figure it out where could be the problem, and it's just considering all the permutation and combinations, right? So let's dig deeper to find the root cause and implement a more comprehensive fix. The issue might be we are handling errors method, but there could be other places in the agent execution flow where error might occur. Let's look at the entire run method to identify all the potential failure points, which is really good. It's analyzed, you know. Okay, thank you for additional information. After it's gonna, so basically the agent is running, which is keep checking. It's trying to understand where the problem could be. It's trying to assess also, what kind of changes it is trying to implement, and then it is just re-evaluating that. It's kind of an agentic, workflow which is running behind the scene. After examining, I have identified the root cause and can provide comprehensive fix. The issue is that we are only handling error in think method, but there are other critical point of failure, the execute tool. So it's actually just having an entire context where it is trying to see, what could be the other problematic areas, and it's trying to do that. Now we need to address one more potential issue. So now you can see it's not only fixing one file, but it keep looking the impact of those changes, in the entire code base, which is really, really awesome. Right. And that is why I'm saying if you have not used WindSurf, I would highly recommend you to start using it. And I know this video is going to be a little long, and I don't know whether we can just cover the continuation of application or not, but let's see. I mean, if this error gets fixed, then it gives a very fair idea, how the WindSurf works when it is related to, fixing other bugs which we are getting into the real time, right? Perfect. I have implemented the comprehensive error handling. If you want, you can quickly just verify all those differences, but let's quickly to see the last one. In execute tool earlier, if you remember, that was in a think method, but now we have here. So it just, put it a very comprehensive exception handling logic here, right? So let's quickly accept this. So it's not only you don't have to worry about anything. It is just expecting, what kind of thing, what kind of human being or the developer will take, what kind of action they will take. And accordingly, it is suggesting. So we can just quickly accept it because it is again going to run this PyTest V, right? We can also run it if you want to. right? Seems like it's still failing, right? So let's quickly run it here to see why it is failing by ourselves. And now you can see, great, the tests are passing, which confirm our comprehensive error handling. Okay, so what it says, okay, import file mismatch, so it seems like this is something related to the infrastructure setup. So let's quickly say, but still we can just look at it. Tests are passing. Why it is saying like me, but I can still see the errors. Okay, so let's quickly ask. But we can just read through the explanation. I have implemented a 3-layer error handling system that makes agent significantly more resilient. But from the application perspective, this looks good. We can quickly verify that because what we are verifying is from the testing perspective, whether the newly added test is being passed or not. So we should not be worried about that much. API, I'm sorry, encountered error while thinking about the task. This can sometimes happen. So basically what it does is based on one particular failure and error, it just scan the entire code base. And now we have this. Let's quickly run this. Okay, so we can quickly ask. Okay, so this was the question which we have asked earlier. So how many moves does Mars have? This is just an agentic application. We ask this task, okay, how many Mars are there? So it seems like it is able to just, figure out which tool to be used, what's the result, and then that result is actually being used for just finishing the complete task because this task has two activity. First, it has to figure out the number of Mars, and then it has to multiply with 50, and then it has to give the result. So this looks good. Let me just quickly run this one more time and see if we can just reproduce some error. So it looks like it is not fading anymore, so which is good. Okay, so it's perfectly fine now. And we have a proper error handling as well. So we can just go to the back end and we can see, start thinking. So this looks good. And we can come back here. I see the issue. This is a different kind of error. What we are addressing for this error is related to Python module could not found as something on the functionality. The error message is very clear about what's happening. So basically, it's related to the import matching that I told you. It's more related to how the infrastructure is set up. So we can accept that and see. So we can see here what it is doing. It's actually importing such util. Let's see that. That's directly to make it more powerful Python package. Okay. So basically, it's just created a init file in text earlier that was not there. So basically, it's just trying to make it package. Okay. Now let's run the test again with more specific command that ensure we are using the correct test library, cascade error, right? So it's still saying command contains a path. So it is basically using a cascade feature here. If you just see, apologize for the error. It seems we need to be very careful with the path format. Let's run the test with related path, right? So let's quickly run the test which we are failing at specifically. Okay, so let's see. Cool, right? So now you can see you don't have to do anything. Everything is being just done by the WindSurf itself, right? So we can, if you want, we can quickly run by ourselves as well in the terminal. See what is going on here. Great. But it's taking too long. It should be a bit faster. Okay, so now we know because if we just think about it, this is really awesome, right? I mean, we can just get the root cause, we can get the pointers where precisely the problem is, and that would be good enough, right? If you are a good developer, you can easily figure it out where the problem is because the kind of detailed analysis being done for any issue which we are getting, either it is a application issue or it's a runtime error or if it is related to the text, test related issue, which is not that important, but definitely we have to figure it out. I mean, why it is failing. Now we can see the different test is failing. That is, for JSON, here, which is I think related to some, how the response is being generated by the LLM. So, but if you just see here, in the middle, in the terminal, everything looks good, right? So the fix is working. The error which we are seeing, which is intermittent in nature, so we don't need to worry about that, right? So the next part where we want to put this WindSurf on a test is, let's see. I mean, if you want to just containerize this application, then uh, WindSurf help us to do that, right? So let me just switch my model here. I will just use the Gemini 2.5 Pro because I don't want to spend much more credits, and I know Gemini Pro will be able to do that. Okay, so because it's a very simple application now, so could you please, you can simply say, you can just write whatever you want. Like you can, if you just understand the prompt engineering, they say that you should start by saying, okay, you are an expert on containerizing application from Docker. So could you please, okay, so could you please uh, containerize this application along with all Docker commands which are needed to push the final image to Docker public repository. Okay, so let's quickly run this. Okay, so this is just a simulated API error. We can quickly fix that because that is not the error related to the issue. So this is an intermittent error and we should not be worried about that. Right? So let's quickly run the application. Okay, of course, containerizing your application with Docker is an excellent way to ensure it run consistently across an environment. Okay, so this is just a simple theory. I noticed the test failed. Okay, okay, so it's actually just keeping track what is happening, right? So it's rather than helping me with that, so it's just providing me some solution as well, like what all the changes required to be done. So basically, okay, we can. So the thing is, you want to ignore that, but this cascade feature is not allowing you to ignore that. So whatever the failure you are seeing, whatever action you are taking, so it's keeping a track of everything, which is really awesome. And then you can just quickly see. Okay, so this looks good. So it's just changing, the test as well, right? So that's fine. So this is just for the error which I was saying it's intermittent nature and we can fix it later on, but it seems like WindSurf is not ready to ignore that, right? So for containerization, we know that we need a Docker file. So I didn't create anything. Now it's created a Docker file, so we can quickly look at it. Okay, so it's using a Python 3.12, but we are on Python 13. But anyways, that's good. Working directory, and then copying a requirement, then installing a dependency, copying the entire code base, exposing over 7860 should be the default port. And these are the environmental variable we need. Okay, and then it is including that. So I'm just in that. Cool. Then we have a Docker ignore where we want that, okay, there are some files which should not be a part of an image, which is a good practice, so that's also fine because it's not only suggesting these changes, but it is also trying to just, uh, uh, follow the standards, right? So we have a Docker file, we have a .docker ignore as well. Docker command, here is the complete set of command. So it says that, okay, how you can just create all those tagging and all. So this is, so you need Docker account. So whatever the Docker, username you have, you can just use that and you can just build it and you can just run it as well. Right. So, but if we don't want to do that, so let's quickly ask them, can we first verify if locally, so we can share Docker commands to verify that image. Okay. Right, so we can do that. Let me just quickly start the container. Okay, so this should be fine. Cool. I don't want to push that to my library. So it's simply saying that all you need to do is just go to the place where you have this. So we can accept that basically. Let's quickly check whether the Docker is up and running. Okay, this is up and running. So let's quickly accept it. Okay, now it's trying to build that. Okay, I know there are few things which I wanted to have in this Docker, but let's wait for that because overall it seems good. It seems like we are using a root user, which is not good. So I would definitely ask to, have a specific user created here in the within the image because that's not good. But anyways, excellent. Docker image has been built successfully, and now we can see it's saying that okay, we have this command which we can run, right? So basically, I need to provide all these things. So this really looks good. So we are having, we have just containerized the application as well, though it looks very simple, but it is really a good thing which WindSurf is providing us, right? So we don't have to rely on someone else. We can quickly do that, right? I know there are a few things which is not as per standard, so we can quickly ask that. Okay, so let me just quickly ask that before I do. Let me accept it. Okay, so seems like the image is relying on user, which is good. Practice. So could you please create yes permission to ensure it has daft as history, right? History, streams. Right? So let's quickly do that. Let's run twice, So let's see what it does. Okay, so evaluating the profile security. Okay, focusing on the perspective, my primary goal is to avoid. So you're absolutely running the container and significantly security risk is excellent practice to run with the non user instead. This follows the principle of least privilege, ensuring that that will compromise the application they will have. So this is really good. And we'll add an instruction so we can quickly see the open diff. We can see this. What it does, it's just added this command where it is, first adding a group and then it is adding a user, and through the user it's just giving the permission on the requirement text and then installing it. Again, we are accepting it. Here we are just changing the ownership to the new user, and then through the user we are running that. So now it looks good. Excellent. We can just quickly run this and see the images being created or not. Cool. And we can quickly come here and we can see the images part. Okay, so let's go. So start this we have to this one. Images. Let's come here. So now we can quickly see, copy the dash, and for this on space. Completely successful. So we can simply see that we will move the successfully. Let's but we can see some error here, right? So let's quickly see. This is not good. I think actually in the new mode secure that's container, but let me ask. It seems like this image. Okay, so let me just quickly go to the code, we have this, AI, okay, quickly run the command. Just run this and see what happens. Right. We can emphasize it there. So it says excellent. Okay, what it says, you are absolutely right. The point and out methodologies after going to the complete process and after the error. Okay, so it says that there is a problem. Okay, so and there it was changing the ownership here. Let's do that. Okay, so basically it's trying to first install some dependency which is needed on the system. And then it is fine to read. So until this point, all these things are happening to the user, I guess. Yes, and then we are creating this. So basically the application which we are running, then we will this. Still we can come here and see. So now we already have that. So let's accept it. And let's run this here as well in our local to ensure. But anyways, looks good, pretty much, but you have to be very careful because these are the things which you have to keep in mind because you are using these tools and you cannot 100% rely on that, but still it is offering a lot of good things, right? So let's quickly see that. From casing, from keywords, casing don't match. So let's quickly see this is the earlier same error, right? So this is now the same error which we are seeing. It seems like still we have this arrows following masses, right? And now what I'm going to do, this is what my strategy is. If into trial, if uh, Gemini Pro is not able to do that, then definitely we have to look for the cloud because cloud seems to be the more appropriate when it comes to the stuff. This is what my experience is. You can agree and you cannot be agree with me because it's completely depend what kind of experience you have with these AI tools. Okay, so you are right. The RMS is very clear. We are missing additional system dependency. So it seems like we have some system dependency which are supposed to be there, which is related to Cairo. And so that's the reason. Let's accept it. I will update the Docker file to install all the necessary system packages in the middle stage. This is a common pattern for complex Python application with C++ dependency. And we know why this is happening because we have a dependency on FFmpeg. And the Gradio is really required that, and you can see now this, right? This is because for the manning library, which is very complicated. Cool. So let's accept it here. And since it is updated, let's try to run here in local as well. Okay, so long it's gonna take. It should fix that. But we know, it's not that straightforward, and we face such issues and we spend hours. But it's good that in minutes we are able to just figure out all those errors while this is happening. Okay. The document is progressing well, the system is not installing. So it's you just see it's keep tracking on what is happening, what kind of progress is being made. First stage, second stage, this certain benefits. So it's just providing policy information, what is happening, everything looks good. This approach gives us several benefits, small final stage, images, stages. We can review as well, but this looks good. If everything is working, you should be able to access the application and test this. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So let's quickly come here. Let's see if we have a problem. 6. So okay, so we are almost there. So if that happens, that should be in a few seconds. I think it should be done. Okay, we are at the last stage, 6 of 6. Okay, once the build is complete, we can verify it's running. Cool. Okay, so let me just quickly pause this video for now. Okay, so seems like it is taking too long. If you just see here, it has been running for more than 9 minutes now. And this was the step which was very, not took very long, where it is trying to install the dependency. I know it is having a very heavy dependencies. So let's quickly, share this in a WindSurf and ask to look for if it can help us, right? So let's quickly ask this question. Seems like building the page is taking minimum 10 minutes. Not finished here. Here are the messages. Seems like installing it seems see what best can be done to reduce the time taking from some language by patching those down. So let's quickly ask this. And here, prompt and see if this is still running on, still going on. It was simply long, just not having the comment. This is the challenge from the complex human application that having dependency that's often is not a finding faster. The main issue is we understand the principles. Much and I will build this thing efficient because most of the civil any change, they are investing best practice to see them without the days. So we just want to verify them. Moment like cache, that looks good. Cool. So now it's trying to utilize the cache everywhere where it is needed. Okay, that's cool. Base dependency. Now we need to create a requirement based.txt file to split up our dependencies into groups. Base dependency level that really changed, take a long time to build, like NumPy fast sentence transformer. Sentence transformer seems to be the culprit one. I know it's too heavy. Okay, API specific requirement base. I will create this base text file will have a dependency that will be change and update on its table. Okay, awesome. Cool. So this is good. Let's come back here. Fail to solve that important page already exists. So it's already exists. More images. Okay, now we can see it's 10.3 GB. So which is not good, right? So tab one, let's do this one more time. Okay, so this time much faster. But anyways, now we got to know that there are a lot of things. So it's really awesome and auto not run. So it's so we can see all those options like okay, what all options do we have? We should build kit syntax. This is because we are using advanced build kit feature that might not be fully supported in the current Docker version. So I need to upgrade mine. So that's okay. I mean, we can just I can just try offline, right? So now we have this containerization done. So let's quickly see how we can quickly take the help from the WindSurf to just keep our documentation updated. So let's start with, could you please update the required flags as will state of the code along with keeping okay, so now we are the last thing we're gonna see. I mean, how it just update the documentation. I haven't give that, okay, you need to just update the readme.md, but it starts with the readme.md and it's trying to just analyze that. So basically, the additional thing which we have introduced is related to a Docker containerization. So it's saying that reads to be updated to include the information about the Docker containerization, the new error handling feature, and the comprehensive testing approach. So these are the three things which we have done in this. So let's quickly okay, so that's the changes. Cool. We can quickly accept the changes for now. Then we have a deployment.md created. Cool, which is good. Okay, so let me quickly pause one more time, and once this is done, then we will come back to our video. Okay, so now we can see it's automatically created deployment.md. So we can see what's there, deployment guide for the Agentic AI framework. Okay, so it's just telling how you can utilize this with all the Docker related commands which are needed. G-Cloud deployment to the cloud run. So it's just giving you that. That's really awesome. So we got this deployment.md, which is good. We got this Docker MD as well. Let's quickly review it. It's just giving all the Docker related commands through which you can just control that, and which is also good. We really like this feature. Now we have our error handling also. Finally, let's create a comprehensive documentation file about the error handling system we have implemented. This will help user developer understand how errors are handled in the application, which is a good practice. We should have a troubleshooting guide just calling error handling. That's fine. Okay, so now we can see what all additional document, whether it updated the existing one like readme.md, and then it's created these three more, which is really awesome. These documents provide a complete picture, right? So we are awesome, right? So in my opinion, WindSurf is really, I really like enjoying and really like using WindSurf for my day-to-day work. It's really helping me a lot. And I know if I just have to start deploying this application on a cloud infrastructure, for example, the next thing which we can do once we have a Docker image, we deploy this not with the Docker on Docker, but we want to use a Kubernetes. So I think that will be the next thing which we can evaluate how good it is on the Kubernetes part. But this video is already long, so whatever the additional things are, probably I will just leave it for the next video. And in this video, I hope you would have got the sense like how powerful this WindSurf IDE is. So I would really like to hear from you guys. I mean, which AI empowered IDE you guys are using and how good it is and how it is more powerful than the WindSurf is. But so far, based on my experience, WindSurf really seems to be doing far better than the other competitors, right? So I would just wait for your comment in the message comments, and if you have any suggestion, like I mean, how you want me to cover WindSurf or any other AI IDE tool, just let me know in the comment section. I would love to build a video on that as well. So if you really like this video, give a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed for my channel, please subscribe for my channel as well. And as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning new things.